Hello, I am creating a simple mold that can, for a hollow toy. So I have this sketch right here, and I'm going to finish creating my toy. I'm going to extrude this object, and one of the things I want to make sure when I extrude it, I'm going to do so symmetrically, so that this plane right here is right in the middle. That's going to make my job easier later. My whistle right here is about 1.5 inches long and about 1/2 inch thick. I am going to create like just a little mouthpiece right here, and then once I have my whistle, I can show you how to create the mold. You don't have to use this this toy. You can use any toy you want. This is just an example. So one of my requirements is that the shell thickness is about 2 to 4 millimeters. So I'm going to type in 2 millimeters. See what it looks like. Looks pretty good. To make it a whistle and to distinguish the top from the bottom, I'm just going to draw over here just like a little hole that you can blow through. Yeah, just go like 2 millimeters thick. Remove. There we go. Alright, so you can see there's this little hole in my whistle. Alright, so I want to split the whistle apart so I can add a rib. This is the split button. I'm going to split this whistle, and I want to split it along this axis, which is the advantage of extruding it symmetrically. You can see all I have to do is click this axis to split it along. And now I have part 1 and part 2. I'm going to name this part right here the whistle bottom, and this part right here I will name the whistle top. If I hide the whistle top, you can see the whistle bottom. So here's where I'm going to draw my rib. I'm going to draw a sketch right here along this plane. Just, I don't know, right here maybe. Since I've drawn it on this plane, I can actually use this sketch to make both ribs. So I'm going to click the rib button. I'm going to go normal to the sketch plane so it ribs down, and extend it so that it goes through the whole object. The thickness of the rib has to be between 60 and 80% of the wall thickness. So I'm going to make it 1.2 millimeters thick. You can see it's really thin right there. Perfect. And then I'm going to turn this sketch back on. You can see that now you can see the little line I drew. I will hide the bottom and show the top. And you can see I can now use the same sketch to make a rib in the exact same place on the other half. So I'm going to click here, make it normal, make it 1.2 millimeters, and extend. And if you look, you can now see that I have a rib in exactly the same spot on both halves. Nice. Alright, my next step is to make a mold for this half, and then a mold for that half. So I guess I'll start with the bottom. I am going to start by drawing on the top just a rectangle that is bigger than my shape here, and extruding it in both directions. I want to make sure that this object completely fills or covers my shape right here. Awesome. Okay. Oh, oops, I want to make sure that is a new part. Okay, so I have a third part right here. This is going to be, I'm going to rename it mold of whistle bottom. Perfect. So next I want to split this whistle bottom mold in half to show the two sides. But you might be tempted to simply split it in half right here along the middle. But you'll notice that when you do that, that one of your molds looks like that, and the other mold looks like this. Not very satisfying. When you split it, you actually want to split it along this surface right here. So what I have to do is delete this split, and instead I need to draw a plane to split along. So I'm going to draw a new plane through this point right here. I want it to be along like this, like surface. So I'm going to choose a point, and then I'm going to choose a plane to make it parallel to. And you can see I've created a new plane right at this level. And that's actually where I want to split my whistle bottom. So when I go to split, I will choose my part, and I will choose my plane. Check. So you can see it is uneven right here, the two halves. But now when I look at the two molds, you can see that this is the two halves where they're gonna go. I just realized you can't actually see the indentation because I forgot to make it. So I have to go here, and I have to subtract out the whistle bottom. Oops, that's the tool. The whistle bottom from the mold. I want to keep the whistle bottom. Check, and now you can see the little hole or indentation it's made. Then we have to do the other side here. So now we have to subtract the other side. So I will choose the tool, which is the whistle bottom, the target, which is this piece, and we want to keep the tool. Check. So now you can see we have the two halves of our mold, one that looks like this and one that looks like that. It is important to make sure that the whistle bottom was split, or the mold, sorry, was split along this plane here, because otherwise the this half of the mold right here wouldn't make like the bottom, and this half wouldn't make like the top, right? You want it to like line up and like fill in here so that there's no gap in that area. It's very important you split it in the right spot. So our next step to make the mold is to create the little pegs that connect them together. So I'm going to draw on this surface a few circles. I'll make them, I don't know, 1/4 inch. Their size and location is not important, just that there are 4 of them. And I'll just I'll line them up along each corner, just because I'm I don't know, like to make sure things look neat. Awesome. Now that I have my 4 pegs, this sketch is important right here. I'm going to extrude them on this surface outwards just a little bit. But I want the other half to line up. So as I hide this and reveal this, I want to make circles in exactly the same spot. And the easiest way to do that is to just turn the same sketch back on. And on the other side, where there were pegs, you have to make holes the same depth. So since I made them 0.25 on the other side, I got to make my pegs 0.2 side shallow on this side. And there you have it. You have this mold of the whistle bottom. And then you have this matching mold of the whistle top, and the whistle bottom fits perfectly inside each half. Nice work. Our next step would be to repeat the same process with the top of the whistle. Because we made a mold of the bottom doesn't have that little hole. So we have to repeat this process with the top of the whistle. So we have to draw on the top plane another rectangle. You could even use the size of the existing rectangle if you want to save yourself some work. You can extrude it in both directions again, making the whistle top in the center, making sure this is a new part. You can name it mold of whistle top. And then, yeah, repeat the same process. You would find out where the surface of this top is. You would draw a new plane through this point along the top surface, creating a new plane right here, if you see that one. So that's where you're going to split the mold of the whistle top, right on that axis. So I'll split it with this plane right here. Then I will subtract. So grabbing my tool, which is the whistle top, the target, which is my mold, keeping my whistle top, repeating the same process for this side. Oops. There we go, got my second mold. Adding the new circles. I'm going to put the circles in the same spot. So I'm going to draw a new sketch on this plane. I'm going to use these circles again, so I don't have to draw and measure new ones. I'm going to extrude these circles on my next mold. .25, just like last time. And I will remove the matching circles on the other side. Turning that sketch back on so I can grab them. Voila. There we go. Now we have the two molds of the top. Here and here. Their pegs match. And then we have the two molds of the bottom. And we have the top and bottom of the whistle, all 6 parts. If I want to, I can go through and make my whistle a cool color, make it look awesome. Try this with a different object even. But this is the process of making a mold. Oh, I forgot the hole. Last step. You want to put a hole for the plastic to go into. Right? So if you try to pour the plastic in, there's nowhere for it to go. So I actually want to draw a circle on this surface right here at the crack. And I want to have it go into my shape to this depth right here, so the plastic will like fill inside the mold. So when I click extrude, I want to make sure that I extrude this up to this face, so that I remove exactly the material that we need to get to that spot. So that's perfect. That's exactly how much material we need to remove. So now you can see that there's like a little channel in this half that reaches through perfectly to the indentation of our shape. Just what we needed. And I will do that on the top of the whistle as well. I will draw a circle. Check. Extrude this circle. Remove. And I want to make sure I remove it up to this surface. Come on. There we go. Perfect. Up to that part. Yeah. So now I have a hole. All right. Our whistle is done. We have 2 halves of each, and we have 2 holes. Nice work, dudes.